Hello and welcome back to my channel. In this video guide I'm going to teach you how to play Purrely. Purrely is an Xyz deck that uses various rank 2s to rank up into level 7 monsters. In this video I'm doing the basics, I'm not going to be covering everything. Purrely has two monsters in this deck. It has Purrely and Purrelyly. Purrely excavates the top 3 cards of the deck and adds one Purrely spell. Purrelyly is a searcher that grabs any Purrely support card. Both of these monsters can use itself and a spell card to Xyz summon. Purrely has 3 support cards. It has the field spell Street, it has My Friend Purrely, and Yeep. The field spell makes your Purrely monsters unaffected. Once per turn, if face up Purrely Xyz monster you control leaves the field because of an opponent's card, you can special summon one of your Purrely monsters from your deck to the field. My Friend Purrely pays 500 life points and can reveal 3 Purrely cards from your deck. Your opponent chooses one for you to add to your hand. Yeep can rank up your level 2 Xyz monster into a level 7. Purrely has 4 quick play spells. It has Happy, Pretty, Delicious, Sleepy. All spells discard 1 card to special summon a Purrely monster. On activation each spell has effects. Happy provides card destruction protection. Pretty, each player gains 1000 life points. 1 monster can't be destroyed by a battle. And Sleepy, the next battle damage you take is 0. For the extra deck monsters there is Plump, Beauty, Happiness, Happiness, and Noir. Spells contribute to your purely Xyz summons. The Delicious spell is used to summon Plump. The Pretty spell is used to summon Beauty. And the Happy spell is used to summon Happiness. Any purely Xyz monster with 5 or more materials can make Noir and Happiness. For your combos, Plump is used to summon a level 7. Beauty is a monster negate. Happiness is your attacker. Happiness negates all of your opponent's monsters. And Noir spins cards and is unaffected. Cards to use in this deck could be ZEUS, because all purely extra deck cards are Xyz cards, so it makes summoning ZEUS easy. Some tech cards you can add in this deck are any level 1 hand traps, because they can also be used to summon any level 1 Xyz monsters. So anything like Effect Veiler or Droll and Lockbird. You could also use cards that draw cards, like Triple Tactics Talent or Pot of Prosperity. I'm now going to jump into some gameplay to explain to you how the deck works. So I'm going first in this turn. What this hand has is Street, the field spell. It has Purrelyly and a Sleepy Memory that you can use in this first hand. So I've just activated the field spell here, and I have this spell card I can use and Purrelyly. I go for Purrelyly so I can search out one of the support cards, which will be Street, My Friend Purrely, and Yeep. I grab My Friend Purrely, which can further search the deck. Pay 500 life points to search 3 cards on the deck, and then my opponent chooses one of those 3 cards. The good thing about this deck is you can choose 3 of the same card, and then your opponent has to give you the card you want. So I draw the exact card I want because I choose all 3 copies of Delicious. I activate Sleepy to discard a card, which is Nibiru, to summon a Purrely monster from my deck, which is Purrely. Purrely's effect, excavate 3 cards. Add 1 Purrely spell. If you don't excavate a Purrely spell, you just shuffle your deck. So I use Purrely's effect and a spell that contributes to one of the Purrely Xyz summons. Delicious contributes to the summon of Plump. So I use Purrely and Delicious to summon Plump. And that gets attached to Plump as XYZ material. I then activate Pretty and use Plump's effect. Each purely XYZ monster that is level 2 can attach Purrely cards to it as material when they're being activated. So an example of this is right now, Pretty's being activated, chain to Plump, and then Plump will attach Pretty to Plump. Plump's other effect is, once per turn, you can select 1 or 2 spell or trap cards from either graveyard to attach to it as material. So this effect of Plump is attaching material from the graveyard. In this case, which is just 1 spell that was in the graveyard, you can attach 2 if there's 2. And then I attach the activated spell into Plump. Plump now has 4 XYZ materials. And Pretty's effect makes each player gain 1000 life points. I didn't have a card to discard, so I didn't activate the effect of discard 1 card and summon a Purrely from the deck. I just activated it so I could use Plump's effect to attach it as material. During the end phase, you can use the field spell to directly from the deck attach 1 Purrely spell to it as material. Just what I do there, and I attach Sleepy Memory. Going into the opponent's turn here. During the standby phase, this card can, if it's attached to a Purrely XYZ monster, you can draw 1 card per copy of this card. So if you had 1 copy attached to Purrely XYZ monster, you would draw 1 card. If you had 2 Sleepy Memory copies attached to it, you would draw 2. Then 3 cards of it, you would draw 3 cards. So I draw 1 card, and I have 2 copies of Sleepy attached, so I draw 2 cards. 1, 2 copies, draw 2 cards. My opponent plays Fallen of Albaz to fuse Fallen of Albaz and Plump together, but I use Infinite Impermanence to negate Fallen of Albaz. I use Plump's once per turn effect to add 1 or 2 spells or traps to this card as material in either graveyard. I selected his fusion spell. Just chain 3, resolve, attach that to Plump, negate Fallen of Albaz. He sends Tragedy to activate effect to add Alibi, Visceral Rebellion to add Magnamart, summons Rebellion, battle phase, he destroys my Plump. When your Purrely XYZ monsters get destroyed, you can activate your Street, leaves the field because of an opponent's card. You can special summon a Purrely monster from your deck or graveyard to the field. You can also activate My Friend Purrely, which will then allow you to add up to 3 Purrely quick play spells with different names from your graveyard to your hand, up to 3. Those effects are going to resolve. I add 1, 2, and 3 quick play spells with different names. Then I summon Purrely from the deck to the field. Then I activate Purrely's effect. Excavate 3. I choose Delicious, Delicious, and a Happy. These are my 3 options. Then the opponent chooses Happy to add to my hand. He attacks with Albaz and destroys Purrelyly. And then he ends his turn and adds Drill Swarm to the hand. It's now my turn. Activate effect once per turn to search by paying 500 life points. I add Purrelyly to my hand. I then activate Purrely's effect with Delicious to summon Plump. Delicious is used to summon Plump. So I use Purrely and Delicious Memory to summon Plump, attaching Delicious to Plump as material. He summons Magnuma. I use Happy's effect and then Plump's effect to attach Happy to Plump. Resolve, attach. Happy's effect resolves. Plump's other effect is when you activate a Purrely quick play spell, you can attach that card to the field to this card as material, then you can banish one monster on the field until the end phase. I just activated that effect and banished the Bestial Lebellion until the end phase. I then use the discard to special summon from the deck with Happy's effect. I summon Purrely with that effect. Activate Purrely. Plump's effect once per turn to attach 2 spell or traps from either graveyard to it as material. Resolve, attach those 2. Excavate 3. I added My Friend Purrely out of Happy, Delicious, and My Friend Purrely. I activate effect and use Pretty. Pretty contributes to Beauty summon. Beauty. So I use Purrely and Pretty to summon Beauty, attaching Pretty to Beauty. I use Sleepy and activate Plump to attach Sleepy to Plump. Discard a card to special summon. Activate the trap. What the trap can do in the graveyard is banish itself, target 3 Purrely monsters, send them back to where they came from. So with this trap card, you can target up to 3 to send back to your deck or extra deck. He is going to banish one of them. So I've selected 3, but he's banishing one, so I'm only going to be able to send back 2. So he banishes, effect resolves, I can send only back 2. Purrelyly searches a support card. I chose to add Street, which is the field spell. I then activate My Friend Purrely to activate Beauty's other effect. When you activate a Purrely quick play spell quick effect, you can attach that card on the field to this card as material. Then you can change the battle position of one monster your opponent controls. I sent my extra My Friend Purrely on the field to attach Bestial Worm to Beauty. With 6 Xyz materials, I am now going to summon to rank up my summon into Noir. To summon a level 7 Purrely Xyz monster, you need at least 5 materials to rank it up. The level 7s include Happiness and Noir. So I used my Plump with 6 materials to rank up into Noir, the level 7. I activate Noir's effect, which is detach 2 materials to spin 1 card to the bottom of your opponent's deck. I then activate the effect again to spin Fallen of Albaz back into the deck. When Purrely spell cards are attached to Purrely Xyz monsters, they gain extra effects, which is their last effect on the card. In this case, Pretty Memory. Once per turn, you can send 1 other card you control to the graveyard, and target 1 card your opponent controls, attach it to this card as material. I applied Pretty's effect that is attached to Noir. I sent Purrelyly to attach Fallen of Albaz into Noir as material. And now I've gone into the battle phase. Attack with Noir and Beauty. Since an Xyz monster attacked this turn, I ranked up Beauty into Downerd Magician, and then ranked that up into Zeus with 5 materials. The end phase, I activate Street to add a quick play Purrely spell into Noir. I added Delicious Memory into Noir. When Delicious Memory is a material, your card gains 300 attack and defense for each material attached to it. So that is Noir's attack now. And then Plump's effect has now applied, which is during the end phase your opponent gets to add their monster back to the field that you banished with Plump. Standby phase, you can activate the effect of Sleepy, which draws a card per copy of Sleepy inside of an AA-ZEUS monster. So I had 2 copies of Sleepy attached to Noir as materials, so I could draw 2 cards off those 2 copies of Sleepy in Noir. My opponent activates Fallen of Albaz here. The thing about Noir is it's unaffected by monster effects, so he has to target Zeus for his summon. And he summons Mirror Jade. Summons the Bestial Rebellion. He targets my Noir to destroy, but it's unaffected by effects. End phase, I activate Street to add a Purrely quick play spell to Noir. It gains attack because of each material attached to it. It's my main phase. I activate Noir's effect to detach 2 materials to spin a card back to the deck. And then I go into battle. The thing about Noir is, if you have less than 5 materials on it, it will be affected by card effects. So you want to get at least 7 materials before detaching to spin a card, so that you still have 5 materials on your Noir to keep it unaffected by card effects. And then I'm going to attack for game here. But he summons this monster. End phase, activate Street, add a Purrely quick play. Alibuff, Branded Fusion activate. Albion's effect. Summon the Bellion into Mirror Jade. Summon that, grab Branded Fusion. Now end phase, and he ends his turn. Ends the game, sorry. So that's game 1, let's go into game 2. Game 2 here, I'm going first. In my first hand I have Purrelyly, I have the field spells Street, I have the quick play spells Pretty and Delicious. Delicious is used to summon Plump, Pretty is used to summon Beauty. Activate Street. I then summon Purrelyly to add a support card. I add My Friend Purrely to continue search the deck. I activate My Friend Purrely, activate its effect. I cost myself 500 life points to search the deck. I select 3 copies of Sleepy, then my opponent chooses one for me to add to my hand. Since I chose 3 copies of Sleepy, he has to give me a Sleepy. Activate Sleepy. I discard Pretty to summon Purrely. I excavate 3 and add Delicious. I activate Purrely's effect to use Delicious to summon Plump, using Purrely and Delicious, attaching Delicious to Plump. I then activate Delicious again. I use Plump's effect to attach Delicious as material. I use Plump's once per turn effect to attach any spell traps to the card as material. Those effects resolve. Attach 2 cards to it as material. Attach Delicious as material. I then use Plump's effect to banish Purrelyly until the end phase. I then summon I then rank up Plump with 5 materials into Noir. End phase, I return the Purrelyly banished by Plump to the field. The street spell activates, and I add Sleepy Memory to Noir to draw a card during my opponent's turn. My opponent's turn now. Activate Noir, the Sleepy in Noir, to draw a Pretty. I have 2 copies of Sleepy in Noir, so I can draw another card. 2 cards total in my opponent's turn. I activate Maxx to draw even more cards. He's playing Cyber Dragon. I activate Noir's effect to detach 2 materials to spin Linkuriboh back into the extra deck. He summons Cyber Dragon and goes into battle phase. He destroys Purrelyly. End phase, activate Street, attach a quick play Purrely spell to the card. Main phase 1, excavate 3. I add Purrely to the hand. Excavate 3. I didn't get a Purrely quick play spell, so I shuffled my deck. I'm now using Pot of Prosperity to banish 3, to excavate 3 to add 1 to my hand. I add Purrelyly. Activate My Friend Purrely. I use Sleepy's effect to discard Purrely to the graveyard, to special summon a Purrelyly from the deck to activate its effect, to then add a Purrely support card to my hand, which will be Yeep, the rank up as a card during your opponent's turn. Activate Purrely's effect with Pretty to summon Beauty, using Purrely and Pretty as material, to then attach Pretty to Beauty as material. Activate Beauty, attach this card as material to Beauty. He's special summoning, attach that to Beauty as material. Activate Beauty's effect to negate this monster. I change Noir to attack position. Attack. Attack again. Since Xyz monsters have attacked, I could have ranked up into Zeus, but I choose not to. I set Yeep so I can rank up Beauty into X Happiness, and I set Infinite Impermanence to negate a monster. It's the end phase. Activate Field Spell to attach Quick Play Purrely spell into a Purrely Xyz monster. I choose Noir and attach Sleepy from the graveyard into Noir so I can draw a card during my opponent's turn. It's now my opponent's turn. During the standby phase, activate Yeep to rank up Beauty into a level 7 Purrely Xyz monster. Yep, so he sends that back. I rank up into X Happiness. I activate Sleepy's effect to draw a card, activate Sleepy to draw a card, and then I activate Sleepy to draw a card. Summons Cyber Dragons. I negate this monster with Infinite Impermanence. It resolves. I special summon Cyber Dragon Nova. Special summon. Rank up into Cyber Dragon Infinity. I activate the trap card here to target up to 3 Purrely monsters to send them back into the deck or extra deck. I choose all 3 of these monsters to send back into the extra deck. He tries to attach Noir as material, but it's unaffected by monster effects. He then summons this. Battle phase. Gains attack and destroys X Happiness. Since one of my Purrely Xyz monsters have been destroyed, it then triggers my support cards, my field spell Street, and My Friend Purrely, the continuous spell. It negates Purrely, the last card in the chain. What Purrely does when an Xyz monster is destroyed, it adds up to 3 quick play Purrely spells from the graveyard to your hand with different names. In this case I get Pretty, yep, just Pretty, because that's the only one I have in the graveyard. And then I can special summon just a regular Purrely monster from my deck to the field. But the last card in the chain was My Friend Purrely, so he's going to use this card to negate My Friend Purrely. Resolve. Effect, negate, and destroy, and then special summon that from the deck or graveyard. Excavate 3. Oh, he uses an effect to destroy. Rank up into ZEUS because an Xyz monster attacked. End phase, activate Street to attach a quick play spell to Noir, which is Pretty I've chosen here. Main phase 1. Activate Purrely, excavate 3, add Delicious because it's the only option. Activate Pretty's effect that is attached to Noir to send another card to the graveyard to attach one card as material to Noir. I have sent Purrely from the field to the graveyard as cost to then attach ZEUS and all its materials into Noir. He's going to detach 2 materials to wipe the board. Noir is unaffected by monster effects, so it gets to stay on the field. That's going to resolve. He wipes the field. Noir's effect activates. It's unaffected by monster effects. It attaches ZEUS. I have a spare Street in my hand, so I activate Street. Activate Delicious. Discard a card to special summon a Purrely monster. Purrelyly adds a support card. I add My Friend Purrely. I activate My Friend Purrely. Activate its effect. Cost us 500 life points. To select 3 spells, your opponent chooses one to add to your hand. He chooses Happy to add to my hand. Activate Happy. Purrely's effect when on field, you can, instead of using a Purrely spell in your hand, what Purrelyly does is use a Purrely spell in your graveyard to activate the Xyz summon. So Purrely uses a Purrely quick play spell from the hand, Purrelyly uses a quick play spell from the graveyard. And that's what Purrely's effect has done here, using Delicious Memory from the graveyard as material to use Purrelyly and Delicious Memory to summon Plump, attaching Delicious Memory from the graveyard into Plump. Then I activate Plump's effect and he ends his turn, or the game, sorry. That's the end of the video. Here's my personal deck profile. I have 3 copies of the main names, Purrely and Purrelyly. You want to run 3 copies of the quick play spells because with My Friend Purrely you can just select all 3 copies and your opponent has to give you 1 copy of the selected card. Since you choose all 3, he has to give you the card you want basically, and they're all really strong. When you're excavating, you want to add one of these spells basically. So you're always going to want to run maximum copies of these spells that you can. For consistency issues, I run Triple Tactics Talent and Pot of Desires, Pot of Prosperity. I also run Maxx, and since this deck draws heaps of cards, I've added heaps of negates. I've added Effect Veiler, Ash Blossom, and Imperm. This attacks directly, and then you can rank up into ZEUS that way. I've added this card, this card. What this card does is basically excavate the top card of your deck. If it's a spell or trap, you can add it to your hand. So that's useful if your Purrely monsters get negated. Then I run Downerd Magician to go into ZEUS. And yeah, that's the end of the video. If you enjoyed, comment down below and like the video for me. If you have any questions or anything that I haven't gone over, just put a comment in the comments and I will answer it for you. I see every comment. Another thing that I thought I would add in, if you want more Purrely gameplay, I'm going to make a video with just Purrely gameplay. So if you want to see that, it'll be up in the right hand corner right now as a card. You can select that and then go watch that video if you want to see more Purrely gameplay. With that said, thank you for watching and goodbye.